All right, Chris, we should be live. Everything should be good to go here. Guys in chat, let us know, please, if you can't hear us or see us or anything like that. But as far as I can tell on my end, episode 64 is a go.
I don't trust you.
I don't trust me either, but I can only do what I can here. Right now, everything is looking okay. So,
Well, all right, shut up.
go.
Seb Salvador Rogue, welcome to episode 64 of the Virtual Boys podcast.
You forgot about Seb.jpg.
That's Seb. That's what I said. That's Seb.
Oh, I thought you said
Seb.
Salvador. Okay.
You interrupted my spiel. Damn it.
Because it was so good.
It is always good. Okay, look. Here we go. Okay, it doesn't matter. Anyways, guys, thanks for stopping by. As you probably know, each and every Thursday at, I guess it depends where you are, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and if you were to live where we are, it's 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Good job.
That's the popular time zone there. Yeah.
Right now, we're live right now for those of you that don't care about time zones. Right now, this time, next week, same time, we're live.
But for all those hundreds of thousands of people that are going to watch this after, Ryan.
Oh my God. Chris, we have so much to get to. Do we have time for this banter?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, just checking.
We do, because we do. Guys, this is going to be it could be a long episode, or at least it's going to potentially be a longer conversation. But
possibly a two-parter. We'll see how this goes.
Some of us has to get to bed.
Some of us also don't want a 4-hour podcast as well.
Yeah, whatever. Anyways,
it's called quality control, Chris. You drop off after 1 hour and a half.
I just catch my groove at that time. Anyway, oh my God, 1 p.m. Australian time. Well, thanks for joining us, I guess, Rogue. I mean, I guess that's what happens when you're, I don't know, unemployed and staying home with the kids. I don't know why you're home. But thanks for joining us. Anyways, yeah, if you guys haven't already, please consider hitting the like button because
yes, exactly. It's there. Just hit it. It's a button.
You should do that. It's a thing you do now. and of course, subscribe if you haven't already, guys. We are the VR Grid, and we do this. We do constant VR content. You probably know all these things, but
you are here. I know you're finding us for the first time.
I feel the need to go through that thing. Ryan, what are you playing? Nothing. Okay, Chris, what
nothing.
Are you playing?
Man, okay, I'm gonna tell my sad story now. One of my Quest controllers died, so I finally sent it off because I just had to. The drift was just getting out of control, and so I'm down a Quest right now. So I had to plug in my Rift to play PC games, and man, does that suck in so many ways. One, the screen resolution stinks. It's not as bad as PSVR, but it's still a substantial downgrade. The screen door effect is totally there. God rays like you would not believe. I cannot I've always thought God rays are kind of like people who complain about God rays are kind of like, I don't really get what you're whining about. Going back to the Rift, I was like, Jesus, everything feels like it's like J.J. Abrams film. Like it's ridiculous how much just bleeding light I have coming from every light source.
Like, oh really? You mean like sidelit stuff?
Dude, it's crazy. No, as soon as a black screen, any kind of light, you just see like all the bleeding light just coming. It's brutal. That's beside the point. 3 USBs. I need 3 USBs for this thing to run remote, like properly with 2 trackers, the headset, and plugging into the HDMI port. It's madness over here. And then I still don't have full 360 tracking. I'm cabled now. Like it's just like I feel like I've gone back in time. But I'm getting there. I'm really hoping Meta gets back to me soon. As far as what I've been playing, not a lot, man. I've been dabbling in Saints and Sinners. You can watch our preview video on this channel. It's a fantastic video full of information that you might need if you are curious about the game. Other than that, I've kind of been working on year-end stuff, so I don't really want to spoil that too much yet. Kind of starting to wind this year down, waiting for 1 or 2 more big drops to happen this year before it's done, and that's it. So, Chris, what have you been playing?
Alex, thanks for joining the chat. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, all of our American friends. See, here in Canada, we have Thanksgiving at a normal time when the actual harvest is happening. Although I did read up on that. I guess it's actually delayed in the US because their, I guess, on average seasons are a little bit later than ours, so it is kind of actually harvest time. But I always thought it was like kind of shitty that for the US that they had to have I guess it's like a super first world problem, but they have to have like one big turkey feast, like so close to the second big turkey feast, unless you do something like ham or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? It just seems really. It seems like you've taken two big holidays because it's bigger in the States too. Like they got like Black Friday all worked in with it, and like in Canada, it's like Thanksgiving in Canada is like, oh god, I gotta go hang out with my parents on Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's Canada Thanksgiving. It's just like, yeah, mom, can I bring buns? Okay, fine. Okay, fine, I'll bring salad. That's that's Thanksgiving in Canada. And pumpkin pie. But anyways,
Correct.
I digress. I've been playing Lawn. And there will be a review on the channel for that, guys. I know it's pretty much a week out late. I wasn't a video that I was originally going to do a full review on. I was hoping to get advanced notice to it, but they hate me and they didn't get back to me. And I bought it with my own money because I was like, no, this looks really cool. Like it's like I'm so starved. I'm so starved, Ryan, for quality looking VR. I am so done with
You know what's
playing
funny about
test
this?
games.
I hate to cut you off here, but we're
You
actually
don't
going to
care
talk
if I
about
cut you
lawn
off.
later in this episode, probably.
Okay, well, I'm still getting into it.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
Because the
You do you.
reason I decided to do a review for it, and I know you're
Okay.
anxious to get into
Okay.
these
Talk.
games.
Talk.
The
Talk.
reason I decided to do a game review for it, a full review, is that I was like trying to get to a point in the game where I was like, okay, I've got access to some stuff, and now I can do like a kind of a live, not live, but a game preview of like a let's play, and I could kind of show everybody what's going on with this game and give them a feel for it. And I wanted to get something out quick because I hadn't gotten access to it. And man, I kind of like it. People saying and I think a review's worth doing now because a lot of early takes on this were people who had gotten it access to it before launch, and they have had 6 patches since. Like as in, I think the sixth dropped either yesterday or today. And so
Because it's so broken.
no, it's not. It's just they're really receptive to like some of the
Yeah.
jank that people
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
complaining about. But the reason I want to do a full review on it is like, yeah, it's I've heard it's only made by 3 guys, and it's freaking gorgeous. I mean, compared to most of the VR we've been playing, and it is fairly polished, and it's so nice after playing Espire 2 and being so pissed off that this game that was supposed to like be all about like freedom of movement that didn't have a jump button, which pissed me off. This game has a jump button. Like it feels much more mobility wise
Fancy.
closer to like Boneworks, Bone Lab. Like it just the way that the body kind of crouches when it drops and it has a jump. And I'm just really enjoying some of the polish that's in the game. And then where I'm going with this is I wanted to do a full review because I've got like 2 hours in the game, and it's very Half-Life Alex, and it kind of linearly tells a story as it's kind of like, okay, you go here, and then you're into this, and then you kind of go through this door, and then you're down this hallway, and it's so it does have a kind of a connected campaign. And I'm like 2 hours in, and I'm only now starting to like, okay, now I've got a sword, and now I've got a gun, and I've kind of seen this like purchasing area where I can buy new weapons, and I'm like, oh, like it feels like it's got some meat on the bone. And I was like, no, I'm doing a full review on this. This is like not an early access. This is not a decent looking early access PCVR game. This is like a real game. And it really deserves to be celebrated, or at least have some real attention to it. So it's getting the VR grid treatment.
Good. I can't wait to play it on PSVR 2.
Segway.
Hey, I didn't even call it out, but I wanted to so bad. I have a problem. Guys, we're going to break down today's episode. I was trying to figure out a way to do this on our channel without it just becoming like a 4-hour video. And so I was like, we have a podcast. But basically, we're going to talk about every confirmed, and I say, or confirmed rather in quotes, because everything on this list, this is a list I made, has been confirmed in some way, shape, or form. Whether it's official Sony, the developers, a trailer, or whatever, every one of these games on this list has been confirmed. Now, there are some games I have removed from this list because they're like 90% confirmed, but like there's like this iffiness behind it. So for the sake of this episode, unless we run really early next episode, this goes 2 episodes, maybe we'll throw it in there. But for now, this is everything up to today, including the game that got announced today, confirmed to be coming to the PSVR 2 as far as we know.
And actually confirmed. This is not like a Polish Paul episode.
This is
it's like,
confirmed. Well,
where
I mean,
somebody said something a few years ago, and it's like, confirmed.
And I had to take games off this list that Paul did confirm. So, Paul, the Invincible, Paul, It's coming, maybe, but
Paul,
anyways, it's
we
not.
love Paul, we love you, dude, but y-
Suffice to
l-
say, my
things
source
are
for this
not
stuff is
leaks
not
are
Paul.
not necessarily getting the most scrutiny. He's like Paul will be like, I'm sure there's a release date in there. My English isn't good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, so this is, I mean, like I said, when I say official, it's the developer said it's coming or the trailer, and we've seen this happen plenty of times in the past from Sony for, God's sakes, on PSVR 1, where they gave us a trailer for a game that just never saw the light of day on the PSVR. So that's why the air quotes are in there, because all of these things are confirmed to be coming. It's entirely up to dev teams to like, oh shit, we went bankrupt, no more game, or they give up on the PSVR version for whatever reason. Stuff happens. So as far as I know, though, this list is about as complete as it gets, and it
So
even
we've
has a
got
few games. It even has a few games, Chris, that no other channel is mentioning.
because we know that another channel that will be not be mentioned did do this topic, but we're doing it anyways because Ryan's been working hard on this list and he's got all the trailers and he's done a lot of homework on this. So we are going to be doing this, even though it was at least kind of attempted on the other channel that is not listed. But we're going to do it with at least 50% less
We
fanboy
want to have
bullshit.
him on as a guest. We're not shutting out that channel. Are you kidding me?
Brian, we love you. And we actually try really hard not to piggyback on people's ideas, but this was something that was already kind of in the pipeline, and so we're doing it.
I've been keeping track of this list. Like this list wasn't. I didn't make this since like yesterday. I've been keeping track of every single announcement and putting it on my own list. And not every single announcement came from Paul or Brian. So I've been putting the work in.
No, you have, and you've got trailers for every game. So we're gonna go through the list here, guys. We're gonna give our opinions on what we think that means for PSVR 2 or even just in general for us, because we played a lot of these obviously at one point in time, or we just have opinions because we have opinions.
We have mouths and the internet. So what we say matters. All right, so we're gonna go through this, guys, in alphabetical order, as that's just the easiest way we can both keep track of what we're actually talking about, and so you guys can see what we're talking about. So starting it up is what I don't have the names. How funny is that? I have the names. I have the names. 2MD VR Football Unleashed All Star. Chris, go.
Okay, this is the Quest version then, right?
Quest, and I think it's on PC as well.
But it's the updated version. I don't think PSVR ever got this.
No, we never got this. It was
right?
planned to be on PSVR, and then it just never saw the light of day. On that note, for those that do own the PSVR version of 2MD, they're getting a super cheap upgrade to this version. There's no price exactly, but they said super cheap upgrade. I think this retails for like $13 or $14 anyways, so I wouldn't expect this to be too much more than that on PSVR. But if you do own 2MD or it's on sale maybe, and you want like a cheap upgrade, there's your little fun fact.
I love
2MD.
Yeah, I mean, the visual style that they took, I don't think did them any favors. Like looking more like a foosball table, but I enjoyed it. I thought the throwing physics were awesome. I actually have not played NFL Pro Era, but everything I've heard from you and others is that 2MD still seems to have the better throwing system.
Better throwing system and
They're
better game.
actually throwing. It's got
And
actual
not only
throwing.
that, but you can also receive in the game. You can run the ball better. There's just this is a more true to form football game.
You
Whereas,
can plan your own plays.
yeah, you make your own plays. I mean, it's not an NFL license. All the teams are all cartoony teams and whatnot. And you can see from the visuals here, it's not like it doesn't look as good as NFL Pro Era in regards to like realism. But I'm telling you guys, I haven't played this version of the game, but assuming the fundamentals are the same, like 2MD nails that feeling of
Oh, the
playing
visuals
football.
have come a long way. Hey, I'm looking at.
Oh no, it's a full on.
Yeah.
Like I said,
they look like football players kind of now.
Yeah. They're football.
They're
players,
not just
so,
like what they used to be on the PlayStation, like
yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
metal hangers.
No, I was always disappointed that we never got this version for PSVR. But that being said, I guess we are now. So I'm actually pretty stoked for this. Just because I never, like I said, the throwing physics, how they did that, it just felt so natural. I felt like I was a QB. Like I never really felt that in Pro Era, whereas in this game I did. So that's kind of where I land on this.
I enjoyed it. I'm not a huge football guy, neither are you, but I think we both enjoyed that game quite a bit. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's like a banger to come to PSVR 2, but I think it's sports titles are so far and few between. It's really a part that has really been, man, there's just
Let's add something to this little thing here, like hype level. Are you like hyped, meh, or like I'm not sure how I'll be like yeah, like I'm looking forward to this, or meh, or like I could care less. That's a good. That's a one. Looking forward to this, meh, could care less.
I gotta go with meh because I'm not hyped. Like I played it and it's fine. I mean, that's a tough one. I gotta have some area in between here. I'd say I'm moderately
You're
moderately
miped.
enthused, happy for people to play the game. I think it's a positive thing for VR, but I'm not like, yeah,
Right.
where's my
No,
pre-order?
I get that. Well, I mean, this is going to be an issue that comes up in a lot of games here, where they are older games or the games we've played before. So to see like, yeah, I'm pumped to see, like Elvo come to PSVR 2. No offense to Elvo, you're coming up right away here, but there is the
Yeah.
hype level. The hype level that was there when they dropped on PSVR 1. Just obviously, it's not quite the same when it's just a direct port. That being said, I didn't play this version. I'm not hyped for this game, but I'm actually really looking forward to playing it for the first time. So that's where I'm landing. Next.
Next.
Next. All right. And we are next. Next game is Affected the Asylum, which is the follow up to Affected the Manor, which released on PSVR. You talk, Chris?
I don't actually know a lot about Affected
Did you
the
did,
Asylum.
did you play the Manor?
I did. And if it's more
Okay.
of the same, then my hype level of this is going to be meh because like it was a good game, I thought, as far as like putting people in it. Like friends come over, it's Halloween, or you're just like, just want to throw them into something. The Manor was a good game because all I had to do was kind of pretty much like walk forward. What'd you do?
No, keep going. We're good. Keep talking.
And I enjoyed that aspect of being able to just kind of throw somebody in it. It looked pretty decent, and I didn't have to explain a lot. It was good for people. It was a good like VR show off title, kinda. You know, i- if you were looking for that type of game, because a lot of other scary games outside of say Rush of Blood involved like explaining the game and putting people. It's not like you could just put somebody in the Blair Witch or Paranormal. Sorry, I got the hiccups. Or Paranormal Activity or Resident Evil 7. Because it was like you could obviously, but like to just give them an experience, it didn't require you to hold their hand as a show off kind of thing.
All right. You want me to read
But
this quickly? Because
whatever.
I knew there was more info here. So I'm going to read this as my kind of first impressions here.
Yep.
So, Affected the Asylum promises a story driven adventure across 3 acts. Set inside Red Park Asylum, strange occurrences like ghosts have recently been spotted in the abandoned building. With curiosity getting the better of us, we'll investigate the scene for evidence, and Fallen Planet Studios warns us to watch out for chilling encounters with the nurse. So, sum this up, it's a story mode. There also has a 4-player competitive multiplayer mode to test both physical and mental challenges. There's also The Escape, a free DLC that invites us to delve deeper into Red Park Asylum's history. So it sounds like they're actually building a substantially larger game than what was originally in the first one.
Sounds like they're
Which,
building on. I mean, from the initial description of say the single player aspect, I'm like, okay, cool. Like they're just to me, it feels like they're kind of doing the same thing, but making it like putting in more of an antagonist in it instead of just the house.
I just said there's like a story mode and you get 4-player multiplayer.
But this is where I'm going with this. I said based on the single player, it sounds like it's kind of similar to the original, but just kind of like with a different twist on it. But the 4-player aspect makes me sounds like they're going after the Phasmo crowd, and I wonder what they actually have people doing.
Which is going to come up a few times in this list as well. But yeah, I'm curious as well. There's no one's played this thing yet. I really enjoyed the first one for what it was in regards to throwing someone in the headset and giving them like a 10 to 15 minute like a haunted house experience. I
Yep.
thought it worked actually really well. Visually, it didn't look amazing. I think that was kind of the biggest drawback. It looked
But it
good.
wasn't bad looking either.
No, it didn't look bad by any stretch. I don't want to say it looked bad, but it didn't look like as good as like the Inpatient in regards to like kind of like the realism you want out of a horror film because the better things
I
looked.
guess, but that was the only thing the Impatient had going for it.
Exactly. Look, that's just the example that came to me. So shut up. But that being said, once again, this being built, I know it's coming for the Quest 2 as well, but I'm kind of hoping that the PSVR 2 it swings, the needle swings towards the PSVR 2 and PC version in regards to quality of visuals, and we do see like a better upscaled experience overall. And the trailer that we're seeing, you guys are watching, I think it does look substantially better. So hopefully that goes our way. I'm in between like meh and hyped. You're right. There needs to be like I don't know, hype level. One you can go like 1 to 10. How about that? I'm like a 6.
Okay, I like number ratings for this.
Haha,
I like
I had that. I like number ratings. Chris
I
Shug.
like I like nuance when it comes to this. Okay, yeah,
We're
I guess
next.
just before I
Oh,
just want
right.
to say 4-player. I really want. I'm curious to see what they do with that because right now on the PC side of things, the 4-player co-op horror stuff is all kind of the rage right now, and and for those of you who haven't, like, played those games, they're very much, right now at least, kind of as a foursome, you're investigating something, and you've got clues, and you have to find things, and you don't actually really accomplish anything, really, other than kind of, like, coming to some conclusion about what something is that's haunting you necessarily, um, and I feel like some companies are starting to phone that in, so hopefully they're not doing that. Anyway, I'm done.
Anyways, he says, next, up next.
Up next.
Up next is After the Fall. I'm gonna keep this one quick. I enjoyed this game for what it was, but what it was kind of short. It's received DLC since launch, 2 new maps, some multiplayer stuff. Honestly, it's a free upgrade if you have a PSVR 1 version. The biggest thing I can say about that is that upgrade. That upgrade should get you the PC, what's currently available on the PC side of things, and the PC version is a huge visual upgrade over the PSVR. I'm not saying it's the best best looking PC game out there, but you can see like visually that's where the work went into it, and it was basically dumbed down for PSVR and Quest because we only got the Quest port with some slightly bumped up visuals, which was really really unfortunate. So hype level, once again, I'm happy it's coming over. I'm happy it's a free upgrade. 6, like, yay, you did it. Give us more content.
Yeah, I would say I'm probably a little higher than a 6, a 7, and if I had never played this game before, if I was someone who's holding out or I'm just getting a PSVR 2, I've never really had VR, whatever the reasons are, if you enjoy the Left 4 Dead style of game and you're coming at this fresh and you've got some friends that you know you can play it with, my hype rating would actually be quite high. One of my biggest critiques of this game was especially based on the PC version, like at its optimal visual level, was content. I think it was brutal that this game launched with the content it did, and knowing a bit of the behind the scenes drama, that this game was kind of basically like changed direction at one point,
Still
and
coming to Quest 1.
yeah, sure. I think I heard. Yeah, I mean, I know some companies were contractually obligated. I'd actually forgotten about that Quest One version. I don't think that that's going to happen. Uh, I'm going to guess that Meta gave 'em a pass on that one. But regardless, I'm just saying. I think that this game is one. There's a few games on this list I know that, like, when they first came out, they suffered from content, and re-looking at them now as like the content offering that they have now or will have when it finally comes out, because I would imagine there'll probably be one more big patch that launches, because it still doesn't have a ton
I
of
hope so.
content. It's
No,
still frustrating, but I
we're up
do
to
feel
7 maps, or no, six maps, 7 maps.
I think they've gotten 2 extra maps
Yeah,
since.
so I think there's 5 in the base, so 7 more, or so there's
You
two
know,
more.
there's more
Then,
guns, there's more modes. The PvP's been fleshed out a little bit. There's kind of a horde mode thing.
yeah.
It's a much better offering, I think. And so if I had never played for it, like, I don't know if this is a launch game. I don't know if it's been confirmed as a launch title.
What do I have in my notes? It says early 2023 in my notes, so I don't have that down as a
But I
launch.
can tell you, like, if this was a launch title and I was coming at this game fresh, this would be, like, top of my pre-order list.
I've changed my 6 to a 7, but that's as high as it's going.
It just depends on how you're coming at it, right? It's like, what is our hype level or what is the hype level? I'm trying to gauge this, I guess, a little bit on, like, what is the VR person, like, what do I think? How excited do I think they should be? Because it's kind of tainted for us because they've beaten it,
Yeah,
or
that's
this.
it. That's like everyone in our audience, though, too. I'm sure a lot of our audience has also played this on the PSVR 1 or Quest or
Yep.
PC as well. Like, then that's, once again, the hardcores are buying this headset at launch.
And that is a problem. Like, if you played the crap out of this on PSVR 1, like, I don't really see a huge draw unless,
like I said, the free upgrade is kind of what sells it. Like the fact you can play this thing free and kind of get like quote unquote next gen visuals. It's not
yeah,
really the
but then
case.
cue the complaints. It doesn't have aim support. Because to be honest, like,
That should go away,
I didn't
honestly.
do a lot of manual reloading in this game. I actually found this game much easier to just put it down and then bring it back up. I just found it was just too cumbersome in the higher difficulty levels to be the amount of times that you're popping magazines out, because it's just a constant, you're constantly mowing them down. And so I don't know. We'll see. What I'm getting at is it's not a game that I feel like is going to benefit massively from this two-handed manual reloading, but having analog sticks will be sweet if you don't want to use an aim controller. Anyways, I think we're done with this.
We're done with this. He gets all angry.
Only because there's
Uh,
like 80 games to get through.
Yeah, no, it's all right. So next up is Afterlife, which is actually weird because there's already a game that was on PSVR that's now been pulled from the store, as far as I can tell. That was like a cinematic thing called Afterlife. It was called Afterlife VR. It's the same thing. There's actually a third Afterlife VR game on Steam as well, so it's kind of confusing. Anyways, Afterlife VR, the game we're talking about, it's a cheapy horror kind of Blair Witch looking game. Visuals don't look amazing. It does look like a budget horror title. Um, I mean, the trailer. It just looks. It looks. The trailer. It just. I've everything in the trailer I've seen before. I guess is kind of what like it. So if you're a horror guy, fine. Like it'll be there for you. But for myself, it looks a bit jank. And I've played many of these before, and I've probably played better versions. I guess so. I haven't played this version yet, but I'm not too pumped to see this on PSVR 2 unless they do some kind of big, huge visual overhaul or something enticing.
Yeah, I mean, I do remember this game now that you mention it. Yeah, it's got a decent review on Steam here, but you're right. It's got a bit of a it's a little cheapy. It looks like a little bit been there, done that. But
I mean,
whatever.
like I said, that's the horror genre in general. I'm not going to sit there and be like, like been there, done that. Doesn't mean it's a bad game. It's just, I'm not going to get hyped for a game that looks like a game I played before, where I can see Unity assets. I'm just not pumped for
Yeah,
that. I guess.
yeah, I
So
would say my hype level is about a 6 on that.
yeah, I'd go with that too. I mean, I'm like I said, I'm looking forward to playing it, but I'm not like yeah, Afterlife. So
And for you guys in chat, throw your numbers in here. I
yeah,
definitely
sure,
want to know what you
absolutely.
guys are thinking. I'd love
Hype levels.
I'd like to get a bit of a general consensus of things. And oh, Satan Slayer, thanks for stopping in.
All right, so the next.
Because you can't sleep. Well, now you're never gonna sleep because it's such compelling
Yeah, because
content.
if we put you to sleep, please let us know so we can revise our product here. Yeah. So our next game we don't have a trailer for, unfortunately, and that game is the Aliens game from Servios. We
Okay.
know they're making it. They're going to do a big, huge presentation in like July, and at the 11th hour, they said nope, we're not ready. They said their main guy, I think their main guy got sick, and then he was like their presenter, and he was the one that like knew everything about the project. So when he got sick, they had to cancel it. And since July, we haven't heard a goddamn word out of Servios. So Servios, Aliens, we talked about this in the previous podcast. Hype level, I'm I'm optimistic they don't. I don't know. It's Servios though. They kind of like. I hope they kind of like we've riding the ship and bring it back without knowing anything about this game. 7 is my hype level only because I kind of hope they do the license justice, but Servios' recent releases is kind of like tempered that, I guess. So I can't say 8 because I'm like they might fuck it up.
Yeah. I my hype level on this being a huge Aliens fan is pretty high. I'm not gonna lie. But it's kind of hard to really say anything other than the fact because it's like my rating on this is based off of two things: the license, and then it's tempered slightly by it being Servios. At the same time, also being pumped up because it's Servios. Like there's a certain quality level that like it's not just some studio that got the license going. Who the fuck is this studio that just got this amazing VR license? Like what happened with Pro Era NFL. I was like, what? Can, are really? Are they capable of this? Like they did like a free app once. Um, but like we talked about before, Servios, I mean, they do very arcadey games, and they've seemed to do them fairly successfully. Their quality control seems to has fallen off over the years. And the other thing that happened with, and this concerns me with the all of a sudden going quiet, is that's what happened with Onslaught, Walking
I
Dead.
know, right?
It was like, we're doing Walking Dead. I was like, oh my god. And then they kind of showed gameplay. They got further than we are with Aliens, but then it was kind of like just silence.
Yeah.
And that game got completely redesigned. Like it was supposed to be a 4-player. It was after the fall, and then all of a sudden shelved. The gore got cut down. Just a lot of stuff.
Womp womp.
So I don't know. Oh, the cut down. Are you laughing at my pun? Unintentional pun. Anyway, I don't know.
I agree.
I don't know. Mm, my understanding, if I remember correctly, is that Aliens by Servios is actually supposed to be like a single player experience.
I think I remember
Right?
us talking about maybe that
Which was
sounds right. Yeah.
That's what they said, which would not be what I would expect from Servios.
You want Ghostbusters.
Well, it's funny. It seems like they maybe I don't know, like just lessons learned with Walking Dead, and they're like, no, let's just do a single player campaign from the beginning. But it also that doesn't lend to them to their arcade roots, so maybe they're trying to stretch a bit. I don't know. I'm a huge Aliens fan, and if I get a pulse rifle and it looks awesome, I just don't want that cartoony look that they do sometimes. I just don't. No, I don't want it. Mm-mm, don't want it.
So without doing anything,
One
you're
more
hyped.
thing.
Okay.
This is coming to Quest 2 as well, isn't it?
I don't believe that was the case, but I can't
I
recall.
think it was. I'm pretty sure it was all of them. So we'll
Oh,
see.
you're bugging me. You know what? Okay, now you're bugging me. Um,
Okay, while you're doing that,
Servios.
distract. We are going to get to the cock one. You just hold your horses. And as far as peripherals goes, I keep seeing things that I want to talk about in the chat there around peripherals. We are going to do a peripherals episode because I got a lot to say about that. Plus, as everybody knows, supposedly according to Ryan, I hate the aim controller, which is not true.
Being developed for PC, console, and VR. So it's a flat game and a VR game, not a Quest game. Well, I guess maybe it could be a Quest game, but it doesn't sound like it though.
Well, I don't want it dumbed down for Quest. Like it definitely it holds it back. Like I remember a lot of people have been asking, like with Saints and Sinners 2. Oh, I wanted co-op. I wanted co-op. Yeah, well, as long as they're making it for PSVR and Quest, you're not getting co-op. Not and deliver the same experience that you're wanting from single player.
All right, are you done crying?
No, but I see someone in chat, Brandon, who said the exact same thing I do. Same thing. I can't speak English, obviously. Continue. Next one.
You guys should touch tips. Next game. Next game is Altar Breaker. I'm not sure. Is it Alta? It's Altar Breaker or Altair Breaker. I'm not sure. This is from the guys that gave us Swords Gargantua. This is like their next title, and there's like a lot of. I mean, there's a lot of hate on the PSVR side for this game because all support was abandoned for Swords Gargantua almost immediately. While the Quest and PC got like substantial updates, and I are maybe still getting updates. I'm not sure where they're at now. That being said, this game looks like the spiritual successor to Swords of Gargantua and just looks like a reskinned version of that game. And I enjoyed Swords of Gargantua, but playing version 1.5 with all new cyber skins does not excite me in the least. I didn't hate the game, but this looks like the same game. It's just with new skin. Like I don't know, like my hype level, like I don't know, like a 5, 6, somewhere in that ballpark. It just looks like I played it already. Only it's got some visuals that this is a Quest game too. I think.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. 5 or 6. It looks
Am I
phoned
wrong
in to
about
me.
that?
I'm not gonna lie. It looks like a sci-fi twist on Swords of Gargantua, and it was okay, but I just don't.
Yeah, and it's a Quest game too. So I mean, not to say that's like the like end of this here, but it doesn't visually look impressive. It looks okay. It just looks okay across the board. And I wasn't too impressed by the gameplay in Swords of Gargantua. It was fun with friends, but if I couldn't play with friends, I did not want to play the game by myself. So it's kind of like meh.
No, I mean, I'm also not the biggest social gamer out there, right? Like I love. Don't get me wrong. I love a good co-op game that I can dig into with a friend, like really get into. Um, I had a lot of fun playing Stormland with you and such. But
Oh, I
I
agree.
but I'm not a very casual. I don't play a lot of casual stuff outside of. I mean, arcadey fun little VR stuff. Yeah, I enjoy that stuff. But as far as what gets me excited, just running through like procedurally generated levels, doing the same thing we kind of did in Swords of Gargantua. I always want more from my PSVR2 experience.
I
So
agree.
so I agree with your 5 or 6.
All right, moving on. Next up is Alvo. Once again, this is going to be not a free upgrade, not necessarily, but it will be one of those substantially cheap upgrades if you do on the PSVR 1 version. Alvo, it's playable and cross-platform across PC, PSVR 1, PSVR 2, assuming, Pico, and if I didn't say Quest, I don't know, everything. It's cross-platform across everything. It's coming to PSVR 2. Hopefully, it gets a big visual upgrade. Hype level, I do have a soft spot for Elvo. I really do. Every time I jump in and play Elvo, I've been doing it for a while. Unfortunately, my Quest controller's down, or my Quest is down. I have fun, and the game does have like a steady fan base. So I'm looking forward to playing Elvo. My big concern over Elvo is that um, if something else bigger and better comes to the table, it just might get lost in the it's just in by better games, I guess. And I mean, yeah, that's kind of the goal. We want to see the CODs and stuff come. That being said, as of right now, we don't have like Alvo is one of the few confirmed military shooters like this that's coming to the headset. So in that regard, because I've had fun with this game in the past, 7. I'm gonna a safe 7 here. Like I'm still looking forward to hopping back in, especially with all my PSVR buddies and playing this again. So
You're just saying that so Steve doesn't hit you up and rage at you on Discord.
no, he just picks on you.
I know he does. Anyways, Alvo fits in the same category for me as kind of after the fall, not necessarily quality wise, but I'm saying in the fact that it was a game that I felt came out light on content, almost early access. It really was, let's be honest. And I feel like its content offering is much more in line with probably what they wanted anyways. And
It's
so
substantially increased since I think they've
yeah,
released like 5 or 6 new maps, and they've
it's
added
more
new
ready for
modes.
two-handed content, but two-handed support is actually in the game now. It's got zombie modes, more maps, more everything, and more player base would be good. Getting it on the PSVR 2 as well, assuming cross plays in effect there. It's just any port that I've already played, any port period for the most part, unless it's a game that I feel like was just released on the Quest and really could have benefited huge from more horsepower. Any port is going to be a little bit less exciting for me because it's a port. I want new exciting things on the PSVR 2. I want games I haven't played or couldn't play on the Quest, and that maybe were stuck on PC and didn't find their audience or just new.
Mhm.
And so whatever, Alvo, it's like, yeah, cool, 7, I guess a 7, yeah, meh.
Like I said, I think for me it comes down to like after the fall. I said what you should be getting with the upgrade is that PC visual upgrade, which is substantial from the PSVR 1 version. Alvo on PC looks the same as every other version. Like the game looks, whatever headset you play it
Because
on, it
it was
looks
a
the same.
PSVR game, like, it was designed as a
Yeah.
PSVR game, so there's that attached to it,
I'm
right?
just saying you're not going to get that big visual. I mean, unless
They
I'm
might,
wong and these guys are working on it.
they
Yeah, I
might,
shouldn't.
yeah,
I'm
they
not
might
talking out of
pull out
turn
it,
here. You might
do
get that.
they might bring like, I think they know that PSVR is, their place to shine. I mean,
Well,
until
you know what? Steve
like,
should watch this podcast and he should be in the chat right now correcting us, but he's not. So
onward and
7, Steve. It's a 7.
Firewall's been announced. I do think that, Alvo probably doesn't I shouldn't I was gonna say they don't wanna release right back with Firewall. They probably don't, but it is counter programming a little bit. It is
I
for
totally agree that it's counter
people who
programming,
want
and
faster.
it's established. It's not like it's brand new. Like everyone knows what Alvo is now. It's not like the cat's out of the bag. So I think if you're not a firewall guy, which some people aren't, some people just don't like that slow paced gameplay, then Alvo is the solution to that.
Well, I feel
Ah, I
that
did it again.
contractors I'd be shocked if Contractors doesn't get announced for the PSVR 2. Onward,
Well, it's not on this list, Chris.
I
So
know it's not,
stop praying for things that aren't going to happen yet.
but my point is that if Contractors gets, announced, then it's just important for Alvo to kind of just beat them to the punch, I think. I hate to say that, but it's how I feel. I think Contractors is the better game, and it's similar enough
Right.
to steal that audience, I think.
You sticking with a 7?
Yeah.
Moving on.
It's
Next up. Oh, I don't have a trailer for this. Oh, no, I do. I'm jumping the gun. Among Us.
It's a generous ass 7 though.
Among Us VR.
Woo!
You don't care. I had fun until I had to play with kids, and that killed it for me. So in order for me to continue playing this game, which is a fun game, I have to join adult groups. There's some Facebook groups and stuff you can play this on, and obviously Discords and whatnot. Hype level, it's actually really fun. If you can get a group of like people who actually take this game seriously, it's a ton of fun. I gave this thing an 8 out of 10, and I stand by that. It was an absolute blast, and I cannot wait to actually get back in with people that take it seriously so I can enjoy it again. And hopefully, I'm kind of hoping, there's a fingers crossed that PSVR 2 when it drops is going to be a lot of adults and not a lot of kids, so we can have that sweet spot back again when we just don't listen to Rugrats. I'm sure they'll be there, but hype level 8. This is gonna bring people together. I think people are stoked for this. I think it's good for PSVR 2 to have this game. And like I said, it's a ton of fun. So no kids, PSVR 2, hell yeah.
Hmm.
Talk.
Yeah, Satan Slayer. You sound suspiciously like Neil Mack. Is that your real name? Is that your real name? Because that hyperdash comment's making me wonder. Um, I would say that Among Us for me, it's good for VR. My hype level for VR, I guess I just think it's a great name to have in the mix there. It's a brand name for people to see that's come to VR, and it fills a niche. But for me, the hype rating is just like burbling at a 4 or 5. I don't care.
Ooh,
I
harsh.
I don't care.
Harsh.
I don't care.
Our first
I
disagreement.
I don't it's not disagreement. I agree with why you like it. I just no, I don't I just don't care. I don't care.
Don't care.
You sabotaged my ship.
You haven't played it, man. You're
You
really
red
irritating me.
blob.
Now we have to play this together. So when Among Us drops on PSVR 2, guys, we're gonna force Chris to play. There's no story, so you must appreciate that. Um so you're not hyped. 4, I'm an 8. Moving on. Next one's a really short trailer here. This is for Awesome Asteroids. This is from Reggie. It's over at Strange Games. There's not much here to show. It's an arcade game very much inspired by Asteroids, where you got to shoot these things as they come towards you. I actually like the cute idea. I expect this to be like a $5 game. No offense to Reggie here, but it seems like a $5 idea. Hype level 5. I mean, I think it's one of those things where if you're bored in the store, kind of just cruising around, and you see this thing for like $5 around sale for $3, you're like, I'll try that, and you have fun for like an hour, trying to climb leaderboards or whatever.
I don't care.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, that's just so I mean, Reggie, love you, bud, but I just no, it's not why I'm buying a PSVR 2. I no. And um Rogue there, Werewolves Within, yeah, that's what I think of Among Us. And again, like I enjoyed playing Werewolves Within, jumping in, have the experience, but it wasn't something that I was like, oh, I can't wait to get home. And
No, I agree.
I
It does feel like a last gen like sampling the
I'm
stuff
also
we
just
got.
not a social person. Right? I just don't.
Oh, we're talking about Among Us now. I'm talking about
I'm talking about Among Us. I don't really care.
yeah.
And
Oh.
asteroids, well, yeah, I don't really care.
Yeah, like I
And
say, it's not anything that's gonna push VR to the next level. That's for damn sure.
not at all
So
surprised that Satan is friends with Neo Mac. Next game.
next game. Next game is Bad Dreams. Oh, just Bad Dreams. I say Bad Dreams VR. Just Bad Dreams. This is from Creative VR. These are the guys that give us Darkness Roller Coaster.
Oh
So I know
God.
I know, right? But the thing is, I think Darkness Roller Coaster actually made them some decent coin. I'm not saying they're like low rolling, but having actually played this a while ago now, a very early version on PC, it has a lot of potential. Falls in that same category of a horror title where you've been there and done that before. That being said, it had some cool moments. The opening moments of the game were actually pretty slick. You're like climbing through like weird, like I don't know, like ungodly bloody intestines while like this thing chases you. Um, it's just like I said, it still kind of falls back to the whole like been there, done that horror thing. It doesn't look great. I've actually seen some of the Unity assets that they're using in this trailer, in other VR games. So that's kind of that's like not the best thing. Um, Hype level for this thing for myself, like a 5, I guess. 4. I'm giving it a 4 because of Darkness Roller Coaster, which I enjoyed, but having this being their second game and having played it, 4.
I don't care.
Well, so it's like 0. You're just saying 0.
No, I just don't care until we see more of this thing, until we actually see what it is. Like, I mean, I take it this is the trailer that we're watching right here.
This is the trailer we're watching right here. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
No, like I said, it's nothing
It looks
special.
better. It looks better. I'm the name of the studio is oh man, I can just see the name of the studio. The one oh my god, I can't
I
even
got
think
it
of
right here. You bug me.
That's not them, not them. Not
Creative VR 3D. This is
not who
them.
I'm talking about. I'm talking about Swordmaster. I like the name of the studio starts with an S, doesn't it? Sin Studios.
Sin Studios?
That's the vibe I'm getting with these guys, is it's like, we have a reputation of putting out shit, but we made some money off our last game, and now we're gonna try to, like, our stab at a proper VR game. I'm hoping that that's what this becomes, but right now, we'll see.
Yeah, like I said, having played it, it definitely needed a lot of work. I played it like super early access. But
And hey, GT, by the way, thanks for joining chat. Dude,
oh,
why don't you go to
GT.
don't you go to bed? Like, it's
He doesn't
seriously,
sleep. He
I'm
waits.
well, he does, I don't understand it. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, so yeah, Bad Dreams, we're done with that. Up next is Black Trail VR. You talk about this one, because I keep you talk first.
I don't know anything about Black Trail VR.
So, you didn't even watch the trailer or what?
No.
You suck. Black Trail VR looks like, it's coming to Quest, it's coming to PC, it's coming to PSVR 2. Man, it looks like a wave shooter. You can play as a cowboy or an Indian. So at least they're covering both sides of our most racist era in North American history.
It's actually cowboy and First Nations now.
I guess so. I'm almost positive. I mean, I'm almost positive it says Indians in the trailer though.
I think I've seen this trailer. I have seen actually this
You,
trailer.
it was on the, I think it was the Oculus thing. They played it originally. It just looks like a wave shooter. There's supposed to be a campaign involved. The second you throw stationary wave shooter on there, my interest dies. So unless you do something really, really impressive, I'm like a 2. I don't give a shit how good your game looks. 2. Stationary wave shooter, I mean, I'll play it, but my hype level right now,
It looks very
low.
yeah, it looks very, very last gen VR.
Yeah.
And by last gen VR, I mean, like, when Arizona Sunshine originally came out VR.
This looks, yeah, it's just like I said. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, Black Trail, but maybe you'll impress me with your next trailer. But as of right
Although
now,
and I'll be shocked to see if they're actually get away with us just, like, firing off and, on, natives. I just don't see it. I don't know how they're gonna get away with that in today's day.
dude, I watched the first trailer. I totally agreed, and then I saw the update that said you can play as cowboys or Indians, and I was like, I
Oh,
guess that makes it
really?
better. Because originally, I saw the original trailer made out like he was just cowboys. And I'm positive it said you can play as both. So
Actually scalp your victims in VR.
that'd be sweet. I'd be down. Oh, that see,
Ugh.
interest went from a 2 to a 4 with that alone.
Oh, really? Mine went up to an 8.
Yeah, 2. Moving on. We are up to Blacktop Hoops, a game I keep meaning to play and keep forgetting to, and currently with my down controller, I just can't play it. I've actually heard a lot of good things about this game. A lot of guys are like saying it actually feels like a legitimate basketball game. Um, that being said, I hate basketball. So, I mean, I love simulations in VR if it does do what it's supposed to. I'm pumped. I don't know, like a 5 though. Like I said, this isn't really up my wheel or in my wheelhouse at all, but if it works the way it's supposed to, it's same as 2MD. I didn't give a shit about football till 2MD, and 2MD I loved. So if this does the same thing, hopefully it does. But as of right now, like a 5.
Actually, I have this on PC and I just never played it.
Oh,
And,
and GT's here right now saying it's pretty sweet. See, he's one more.
yeah,
Like
no,
everyone seems to like this game.
it
So,
actually supposed to be pretty decent. Like we were talking about before,
oh
sports
god,
in
huge.
VR is rare, and I think a lot of that time is just that it's just there's a lot of nuances in team sports, especially, and so I haven't played this. I'm looking for the sequel to VRFC. Oh, but before
You
until
and just you.
I'm sure someone will come to defend me. I bet you GT liked VRFC.
I did too. It had its moment for all of us, I think, but we all also moved on pretty quickly and never looked back.
No, I know. I mean, it was definitely almost a proof of concept of gameplay. Like, could you do this with feet or with your hands rather? But yeah. Anyways, back to hoops here. I haven't played it yet. I should have. I just it came out when I was working out of town and just did not have time to be playing stuff. And I keep wanting to go back to it. It looks pretty cool. I mean, it's gonna have an audience. Let's put it that way. I think especially if it's decent. Like I'm hoping for some NBA Jam meets a little bit of sim.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree.
I'm waiting to do my like triple somersault on fire move in VR.
Yeah, NBA Jam. All right, moving on. What's next? Oh yeah, Bloody Hell Hotel. This game either it sounds like it's not out yet. Sorry, I'm confusing myself here. Doesn't matter. It's coming out flat or it just came out flat. Doesn't really matter. You basically play as a vampire who has to rebuild a hotel, but there's like stuff to kill and like tasks to perform. It's like it's honestly it's Hotel Transylvania Job Simulator edition. It looks good. It looks like a higher end game for sure, and that alone kind of has me a little bit excited for it. That being said, the fact that I'm just rebuilding a hotel in VR, despite how cool the visuals look, does not excite me in the least. So as far as that goes, I mean I don't. It falls in that simulator category, which is just a tough sell for me. So I'm like a 4 again. It looks pretty, but it's just I'm bored of just doing random stuff in VR for no reason than just to do them. So
Yeah, I agree with that. I am just over the whole, "Oh, I can pick up and throw those things and move these things? Sweet." I'm just yeah. I mean, when you've been in VR long enough, it's like it's just I'm not gonna say that, like, I still don't like picking up and throwing things in VR. It's one of the first things I did when I played LAN. I was like, "Okay, do you make noise? You do make noise. Okay, here we go. We're going to some quality stuff here." I just get the sense from this game, as nice as it looks, the art style looks awesome.
yeah, I agree.
Besides it not just, like, looking pretty, the art style looks cool. Is that, I just feel like they took, like, a bag of game ideas, and they're like, "'Kay, pull 2." And they were like, "Yeah, hotel simulator, vampire game, done."
So mean.
Yeah, I'll
I
give it
just
a
think they
6.
watched Hotel Transylvania and was like, let's make the prequel.
Are
Yeah.
they
So
renovating a hotel in Hotel Transylvania?
no, he already owns the hotel.
Yeah,
He's a
see, I don't know because I
vampire.
don't watch shit like that.
I
Next.
have a child. I have a child. So yeah. All right, we're moving on. Moving on. Up next is Cave Digger 2. Dig harder.
Is that for real, the name?
Yeah,
Is
that's
that
really
really
really the
the
name.
tagline?
I got a chance to play this. I didn't get a chance to put out a review, unfortunately. But for those of you that have played this, then you know what to expect. For those of you that haven't played this, maybe played the first one. The first one was kind of like a almost like a proof of concept. It was very much like mining simulator, but it had a lot of like comedic charm to it. You never left like your little well, you should say never, but you're mostly in like your little elevator, mining things around you by just swinging your hammer. It was a cute, fun little game. This one opens it up huge. Now you're actually venturing into these mines using full locomotion. You have to stuff to kill, different things to mine, bunch of upgrades. It's much improved game. There's full on like you're like I said you're full on like carving massive tunnels in some of these levels and stuff like that. It's a bigger, better game. As far as my hype level goes for this, having played it, I'm glad that PSVR 2 guys get a chance to play it because I don't think anyone in PSVR 1 did, just because of the age of the headset and when this came out. So I think it'll get a second life on PSVR 2. That being said, it is still one of those kind of budget titles. There's a multiplayer aspect to it as well, which should excite some people. No, it's good. There's a lot to it. If you enjoyed the first one, you'll love the second one. I don't know. I'm at like a 6, I guess, right now. Like from what I played, it was pretty fun, and I've been meaning to dive back in. So yeah,
It's not what I want on PS4 2.
I hear you. I hear you.
Like, it's just I know it comes off a bit jaded, but it's just like, "No, man, I want more, I want better." I've said it before, I want PSVR 2 games, especially at least the bulk of them to be, like, feel like a step up quality-wise. Like, I want it to feel like not Quest stuff, not PSVR. I want or yeah, I wanna say not PSVR 1 stuff because there's a lot of quality stuff on PSVR 1 that is just not on Quest. So I was like, I just want it to feel like the next evolution from PSVR 1. And I feel like,
Mm-hmm.
not to
Yep.
take anything away from Cave Digger 2, "Can you dig it?" That should have been the line. I just feel like it's like, yeah, that's cool. Like, it's a little sprinkling some indie stuff here, but it's not getting me hyped. I'm
Yeah.
not
No, I
buying a
feel you. 100%.
headset for it.
No, 100%. No one's buying heads of Cave Digger
It
2.
definitely does
Absolutely.
look a lot better than Cave Digger 1.
It feels like a a fully fleshed out game. Like it's not like the first one by any stretch. There's a lot of stuff going on, and a lot of combat, and it's a lot happening. I'm not gonna like overhype this thing. I'm not like hyped for the PSVR 2 release. I just think it's a good game that hopefully people will find, it's one of those games I think people, once again, people will see it on sale for their PSVR 2 and be like, I'll try that out, and then be pleasantly surprised.
Now, I just I
Oopsie.
I do want to take off on a slight bit of a tangent just because I have been reading chat and I need to weigh in on this topic of the cable with the PS5. So it's still kind of on topic. I know, I'm sorry. Here's the point that I have my problem with, and I know I've kind of said this before, but I do want to weigh in on this. The problems with going wireless on a console headset is price, because all of a sudden now you've got to have like computing power in this thing to handle all the communication to the PS5. That's also gonna have to go through a wireless network in your house. Sony is plug and play. This is VR simplified. Now it's supposed to be PC VR simplified, fine. But going wireless, it's like we're not there yet. Like the average person does not have Wi-Fi 6 in their house. Sony's not gonna want to risk the frame rate issue and the just connectivity issue on that. Also, battery life is a thing. Like I still play mostly wired. I mean, with the exception of a very few games, do I actually feel hindered by the cable. Now, that being said, I was thinking about this today. The one issue that console VR has with a cable is that typically console VR it will be in living rooms where people are much less likely to say have like a cable management. Like I have like the pulleys on the ceiling. That is the one problem. Whereas like PC gamers, they're often in offices where they're more likely to put pulley systems on their roof. They're not. It's not in their living rooms. But I still feel like this wireless issue. It's like there's two issues. There's whether you prefer to play wired or whether it made any sense for Sony to go wireless. And there is very little, I think, at this point right now in the four category for Sony to have chosen to go wireless. It would have opened up so many issues: weight, price, reliability, simplicity. I don't know if you want to weigh in on that, but that's just
No, I
what I.
agree with you. I mean, I'm pro wire, man. I cannot wait. I'm sick of my quest in regards to.
No, you didn't ruin it at all, right? GT. People were
It
talking
just
about it. I
cuts me
just
off. Just hey Ryan, hey talk, just so I can talk over you 2 seconds later.
sorry,
Nice,
I
nice,
didn't mean to
Chris.
interrupt you.
You can type into chat. You can just type that if you want,
Anyways,
instead
continue.
of acknowledging it when people can't see it in the audio version. Use your fingers like this.
Next game. Use no need to apologize in chat. Chat is its own beast, guys. You have Adder in chat. It's just sometimes things might come up where there's just too interesting not to weigh in on it, and it's still on topic. Continue, Ryan.
I'm pro wire. Next game up here is Chernobyl again, or Chernobyl again. I guess I never Chernobyl.
Chernobyl or
Um,
Chernobyl Light?
Sure, yeah. So Chernobyl again, only it's basically like a puzzler only in
Okay.
Chernobyl. So I like the idea. Honestly, I do like the idea of this game in regards to like a fully 3D created Chernobyl and actually being able to explore that properly. We got that cheapy experience that came out years ago for the PSVR one, which was like a few 3D rooms and mostly just like 180 like things. I don't know. The idea of having a properly 3D created version of Chernobyl and actually doing stuff in there while you explore, maybe hopefully maybe like kind of like an educational tool, but a little more fun, I guess. I like that idea. As far as hype level goes, though, it does look kind of boring, as even as much as I like puzzles. So like I'm like a 4 right now. I haven't seen a lot from it, but it does look kind of dull.
Don't care.
There you go. I have a number scale. His scale is just I don't care. All
Uh,
right, moving on. No, it's
for
fine.
the
Fine.
for the puzzlers out there, maybe it's just one of those things where it's like it's just not enough yet. I don't know enough.
Yeah, I agree. No, like I said, right now, and I'm still, I agree. It's like I'm a 4 right now. I need to see more. Up next, Cities VR Enhanced Edition. You talk, Chris. I've already played this.
So my wife's a huge City Skylines fan, which is the core game on PC, and the Cities VR version that came out is like not even an appetizer to the core game. It is a real shadow. Now they added in some things around the economy system, I think, to kind of try to make up for that, but it's definitely not. It's not the massive landscape playground that the PC version is. And so the Quest really held that back. So I do
They are
do
promising bigger levels.
I know, and I was gonna say I feel like this is a very good example of what I was talking about earlier of a Quest port where my hype level for a PSVR 2 version is significantly higher because I am optimistic that it's gonna offer a much better version of that game,
Mhm.
not just a port. I feel like we're hopefully they're really taking advantage of the extra memory.
Yeah, I mean,
So
like, for myself,
6, 7, 7 maybe if it delivers. I mean, it's not necessarily my type of game, but I know that, like, people like my wife are gonna be all over this if they can, really open up so you can build a sprawling city.
yeah, like I said, having played this, it definitely felt too small. It's been updated since then, and all those updates will be in the game. That being said, it has to be substantially bigger. If it's not big enough, then it kind of kills it for me. And having played it once again, I'm kind of floating around like a 5. I mean, I'm not psyched to jump back into this world, so they hopefully it impresses me enough where I do get hyped again. But right now, it felt like I felt too limited, and I'm not sure if the PSVR is going to have enough extra stuff in there to make me feel unlimited.
It's one of those it's just one of those things where
Words.
we'll have to see more. Right now, I said my increased hype level is more just, optimism. So,
Well, speaking of hype, Chris, Cosmonius High is up next.
oh god.
I
So
agree. I didn't. I purposely didn't touch this game when it came out earlier this year because I had zero interest in playing this thing. Once again, it's called Cosmonius High. It may as well be called Alien High School Simulator. I don't want to play it. It just held. I don't. It's just like do stuff in VR. You want like stuff? Do more stuff. Do
yeah,
stuff. And I
that's
just
the thing. Do you like doing stuff in VR? Welcome to an alchemy game where you can do
all
all
the
the
stuff. Yeah.
stuff.
So yeah, I mean, like my hype level for this is the exact same as it was for this year when it came out, like a 2. And I don't think I'll be playing this one. I don't know. I mean, I want to say no. I'm just it's just not my jam. This is not my jam at all. I'm over these types of games. So meh.
Yeah, I actually feel like Cosmoni's High is a very good example of alchemy games being stuck doing the old style of VR, like simple kind of VR games, and it works for them. I guess obviously still a spot for that, especially for kids and young people, and new to VR people. But for me personally, I'm over it, and I'd love to see Alchemy stretch their legs because they obviously make quality VR stuff. Um,
And money. I mean, they've also made a f ton of money unless they like had the wrong right signed. I mean, Job Simulator like still sells more every year than any other like VR game released that year. So like it has to be like yeah, give us something bigger and better. Like give us some like yeah, I agree. You can do more alchemy.
I mean, again, not to get too political, but I was really turned off when they brought in so that like children could choose their own pronouns and stuff. I'm just really not a fan of that kind of that woke kind of content making into kids games. I feel like I just would like to see it left out of kids games and let them just be kids and let them be slime creatures. I just that was a turn off for me because I feel like I think parents should know that. Other than that, whatever, I guess. It's it's a quality VR game in that genre.
It's there.
Yeah, yeah. Do you like to do stuff, Ryan? This is the stuff for you.
All right, moving on from Cosmonius High, we have Crossfire Sierra Squad. Go you talk, Chris. I'll let you talk first.
What game?
Crossfire Sierra Squad.
Oh yeah. We kind of
All
talked about
right,
this last episode.
we
It looks
did.
sweet. It looks the more I look into it, it looks like Zero Caliber on crack.
Yeah, yeah,
And
totally, totally.
and I love that. Again, it looks like what we all as PSVR headsets is what we wanted Bravo Team to be. And so it looks really cool. It looks really slick. Um, I feel like people who are like, I want Call of Duty in VR, it might scratch that itch briefly, even though it really is kind of looks like very much a run and gun co-op kind of. thing. It looks like it might be a little corridory, like you kind of like run through stages together, very arcade, but
Mhm.
it still looks sweet. It looks fun.
It looks fun. I mean,
I
that's
think we need to
exactly
keep
it.
our expectations in check, though.
Agreed.
But we did talk about this last episode, guys, but we looked into it, and it's like it's a franchise in what did I say? It was in China, I think. It's like
Yeah,
and it's been
China.
around
Yeah,
for a long time. They've got lots of games, there's a TV show. It's so I mean, I'm not saying that means it's quality. I just mean it's been around for a while. It's not some just complete knockoff thing. So hopefully it's cool.
I
It's
mean,
probably
once
one of
it
my most excited of the kind of like games that have been like actually kind of put out there by Sony because I was like, "Whoa, what is this? What
yeah.
is this?"
No, it fills a niche. We said how Alvo was counter-programming to Firewall. I mean, this is counter-programming to those online versus only shooters. This is, like I said, Bravo Team. We all got so hyped for Bravo Team. Me and you played it, and we're just like, man, like even playing it together, it's like this is great. But after playing for like an hour, I think we were just like, "Are you done?" I'm done. Yeah, like I'm done. It was just so not what we want out of VR. Like every time you had to move was just immersion breaking, and this one just seems to embrace intensity. So as long as that pace, let's say the pace has kept the whole thing. I hope hopefully there's a more substantial campaign than just like, you're in Qatar, go kill the bad guys. I hope there's like a little bit more to it. But I mean, that being said, I don't need much more than that. Like, just let me shoot.
I
Let me,
was gonna say that.
like, just a little bit more. I'm good. Sniping works, co-op works. I get to kill endless NPCs, and it's fun and challenging, rewarding. I'm down, man. I am so down for this.
Like,
I'm
I
like an
guess
8, 9. Like I'm actually literally looking
yeah.
forward to just
When you
co-op.
look at this trailer, it looks like PCVR. Yeah, I guess that's the best way to say it. Is like this looks like something that is not on Quest. It looks like it has a bit of a Blood and Truth kind of like quality level to it, but but we know it's not an on rails kind of like very controlled experience like Blood and Truth was. I'm just saying like you look at this and you're like, okay, this is like this is some
It
money
looks
here.
good,
There's
man. It
some
looks
money here.
good.
Yeah,
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 for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. So I hope that delivers. Um, have they confirmed that it's a launch title?
Not
'Cause
according to my
it
notes. According to
looks
my notes, it has not been
it
confirmed for
looks so
launch.
good. I don't want I almost
Oops, I
want to
screwed
try
up.
to keep my hype like in check with it, but it looks cool.
All right, next. We're doing next.
Yeah, next.
Next is in weird alphabetical order because I'm pretty sure we do it. The Dark Pictures Switchback, because I don't know if this
Like
game is called Switchback or the Dark Pictures Switchback. So we're going with the Dark Pictures, and it's Russia Blood 2, guys.
it is the Dark Pictures
Yeah,
presents
all right. So, but it
it's so
looks like
stupid.
Switchback VR. Like it doesn't
It
matter.
was
It's
like
Russia Blood 2.
Russia Blood was Until Dawn
Yeah,
Russia Blood.
sure, whatever. I don't give a shit. Shut up. This is Russia Blood 2, and it looks like Russia Blood 2, and it looks great and fun. And this is the kind of thing you put in a headset, and it sells you. It's roller coasters and action and violence and horror and fun and less. Who makes this? Supermassive? They make this thing.
You're always so mean.
I'll just keep ignoring your pain. I relish it. Supermassive Games, unless they somehow screwed something up in here, I'm not sure how they could possibly screw this up. This is going to be like for myself an absolute must buy first day, assuming it's a
Oh,
first
dude,
day
I'm so
title.
hyped for this.
Yeah, it's not officially a launch title officially yet, but I
I
mean,
think
I'm
it will
assuming it's a
be.
launch
I think
title.
it's
Like
gonna be a launch title.
yeah,
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Like some people are asking like what our most hyped games are. I will mention to you when one of these games is my most hyped. Crossfire
you'll
is
see
one of
us.
them.
You'll see us just
Yeah,
react.
you'll
Like
know.
we
You don't
just
even need us to
you can
tell you.
see the kid that's just come out the second we get excited.
You can tell when we got like that launch day. Like this
Yeah,
game, it looks so much like Russia Blood though. Like just it looks
the power ups are the same. Like the gun modifiers,
yeah.
we shoot the boxes, and it's the same. It's the exact same thing. Like I mean, it's Russia Blood 2. I don't give a shit what they call this thing. It's Russia Blood 2. Like it's Switchback VR. Like, is that like an anagram for Russia Blood or something like that? Because it's Russia Blood.
Yeah, I mean, the title pisses me off because it really pisses me off because it's Russia Blood 2. Just let me call it Russia Blood 2.
Everyone is though. It's the thing. Every
Even
single one of
the
us.
makers of Russia Blood, just let me call it. Like, I mean, even if you weren't going to call it Russia Blood 2, Switchback
I don't know.
VR.
I don't know.
I also thought we were hoping we were past that of just having to put VR after everything. I guess we're not. It looks a little more amped up than the first game, which is awesome because the sequel should just be more. But I don't even care if it's more. I just want more levels. I just want more. In fact, you know what? I'm not even done with Rush of Blood. I don't play that near. I spent so much time putting people into Rush of Blood. I have not played enough of Rush of Blood. In fact, I want to play Rush of Blood now.
You can't. We're still recording a podcast for like 20 minutes.
I know. This
On
will
that
be
note,
This
there's
is
no
gonna
way we're
be a
getting through this
2 episode.
list. There's no way we're getting through
Like,
this list.
what are we
today.
on, D?
We're on D. We're on 22 out of 76. Oh no, sorry. We are on 21 of 76. Speaking of 21, that is Demio. Yay, Demio. We all love Demio. Demio's the best. I mean, hype level's not fair for this one because I've been playing it for the last like year. It was like one of my best games of last year, I think. So am I hyped for this thing? No, because I can play it right now, like right away. That being said, I am so hyped that PSVR players can finally play this and play with their PC and Quest friends because Demio kicks so much ass. So I'm not hyped personally, but I am stoked to play with all you PSVR guys.
Man, I'm sorry. I gotta go. Chat's killing me. There's some
I'm
interesting
gonna
points.
turn. You know what? Pretty soon you're not gonna be allowed to go in chat anymore.
But
I'm gonna take chat away from you.
before we move on, Switchback, some really good ideas. I'd love to see co-op. Yeah, that would be cool in Switchback. And I would also love to see, like somebody mentioned, on a side note, I want loops. Screw this comfort setting bullshit in PSVR 1.
Loops.
Like, you had your chance, PSVR 1 people. That you make my tummy's upset. No, PSVR 2's for people like us, Ryan. I want to just be like, "Woo!" No comfort settings, none of this bullshit. But somebody brought up a comment there that it was a niche that really wasn't met on PSVR. It was no real roller coaster games.
No, the ones
Which
we got
Quest had.
were so budgety.
And I can't remember what it's called, but Quest has got one. It's like a subscription one, though. Not a subscription.
Coast, I think it's Coaster. I think is that one.
I don't remember, but they DLC the shit out of you. But it definitely
It's free. It's a free. The free you get it free, and then
couple
the
of
DLC
free.
is all paid. Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I think that would be cool. So, anyways, on to Demio. I love Demio.
I love Demio.
Love Demio. Demio was, I think, both of our either game of the year or almost our game of the year last year. Demio keeps getting better and better. Demio is another perfect example of a game where it didn't actually have a lot of content. It was just that good. Demio has grown so much. Like, what is it? Their 5th expansion, I believe, is coming out.
Yep.
And they're adding, another character. So they added the bard. They added something before that or I don't remember what the person was. They had like a tiger or some shit that came with them. And then they have the new one now, which is the barbarian. And I've loved every single campaign level. I feel like everyone is up the ante. They've now got the playroom where you can go and you can meet up with people, and it's just like a social area, and there's a lot of cool shit to screw around in there with. And you can paint. Have you actually played around in there? You can go there. You can like pick up models from the creatures in the game and sit there and paint them at a paint table.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't checked it out. It's actually been a while since I played.
Yeah, no, they've added so much to that game, and so again, this is on my top like hype list. I think just because it's such a good game that PSVR 2 never got, or PSVR 1 players rather, that you're going to get such a complete experience, and it's probably going to have the visuals of the PC. It's so good for VR. I think it should be a day one purchase for anybody who is like you PSVR 1 headsets who haven't played it yet. Man, so good.
Yeah, if
I
you
don't
love
even
tabletops,
like D&D. I don't even like tabletop games. Not really. And it's so, and like over the pandemic, it was so nice to be able to just jump into friends with this and play. I was working out of town this year, and like the guy in the hotel room with me, we both had VR. We sat there in our beds and played Demio most nights. It was it's chill too. And this, I'm not even a social guy, but it's just a good game. Just
and thanks to a tethered headset, your battery won't die at the end when you're fighting the final boss.
Seriously, and that is a real struggle. The struggle is real, my friend.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not hyped, but I'm not hyped for it because I can play it. But I'm so hyped that it's coming for PSVR 2. I mean, I can't wait to play. It'll reinvigorate my interest in this game too. So I'm definitely looking forward to it coming to PSVR 2. Next, dude, no, I lied. Distortion VR. Do you know anything about Distortion VR? It's like a cyberpunk shooter game. It recently came out of early access on PC, and reviews have been poor.
Yes, I know
exactly it looks cool. The gameplay apparently is absolute garbage. I watched a dude play it for like 20 minutes, and it looked so boring and so monotonous and so disappointing because it does have a pretty slick visual look. Like it looks, take the right screenshot, it looks like AAA, and that's a little bit unfair. But
Yeah.
then you see some parts of the game, you're just like, oof, and there's like no AI. It's like I think it's like $12 game on Steam, or maybe it's 20. I can't remember now. I don't know. It's just from what I saw, it was just massive disappointment all over the place. It's supposed to be a PSVR 1 game. Um, I
It's
like I
giving
said,
me lo-fi vibes, right? And
total. I mean, it's that same style for sure.
yeah,
But like I
cyberpunk
said,
style.
man, having seen what's currently out there right now, it looks jank as f. And unless they fix that, it's my hyper level for this is like a 1. Like I've seen this thing in action, and it looked so not good.
Yeah, well, lo-fi should be to the PSVR 2 by 2032.
Something like that.
Blair's saying next year, so we'll see.
He
But if
that's what the first trailer promised was 2023.
see, lo-fi looks sick, and I really hope that Blair can bring that together because it could be
17 on Steam currently is what he just said. And yeah, from what I've seen, this game is not worth $17. So like I said, he's got to fix this thing for me to give a shit about it.
yeah, no. Next.
Next, I like when we go fast. Do Not Open, a game that comes out I think tomorrow for flat guys. So it says even the trailer says PlayStation VR compatible, which is hilarious because they canceled the PSVR 1 version. That being said, it looks like a quality horror game. So I mean, I've said like we've been there, done that before. This one does look better than been there, done that a little bit. 7. I mean, it looks like it's not changing the game. It's a puzzle horror game, but it looked good. It looks decent.
I want someone to bring out a game and actually title it "Been There, Done That," and then just be like a total average shooter. I saw Perp's name in there.
Cosmonious High.
Yeah, I had no shit. Hey,
Sorry, I'm
I saw
sorry. I'm
Perp's
not sorry.
name in there, so I would imagine this is also flat. And
Yeah,
and I mean,
I introduced it as flat, but you don't listen to me.
I don't. I feel like I was one. Rob's in chat though, so my boy's in chat there. That's why I'm like, ooh, Rob's here. Um, Perp's name's on it, so it's a bit of a stamp of quality. Like they don't technically or usually, typically is the word I was going for. Do garbage.
Mhm, mhm.
I don't know. I'm not a puzzle guy. It looks okay. I mean, this is definitely the flat version we're looking at right now. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Get back to me when we see VR version.
I like this number scale you never use. I like that quite a bit.
Oh,
Moving on, we are going to Dropship Commander, a game that just came
yeah.
out.
I mean, it's like
Oh,
whose
I'm
line
wrong.
is it anyways? And the points don't matter.
I screwed up. Hold on a second here. I got the right game here. I got it here. Dropship Commander. This thing just dropped for the PSVR 1 last week, or maybe even it was last week, I think. I haven't had a chance to play it yet. I meant to. Time
No,
is a factor. I don't know how this thing plays in VR. I don't fully get it. As far as hype level comes for PSVR 2, it doesn't do anything for me in that regard. I don't know. I I don't. You talk, Chris. I'm here to echo my thoughts exactly here.
Reggie, you're better than this.
Okay, hold on. Let's dial this back a bit.
It's another strange game studio. I mean, if you're in the PSVR community, Reggie is like kind of like a little like indie hero for us, right? You know,
For sure, man.
he's
For
been in the
sure.
community forever, and he's been so supportive and so transparent. And he did Honor and Duty guys, and he did Honor and Duty D-Day, and he's like one dude there. He's got some, I think he's got some help now, or at least he did, and he's working on another Honor and Duty game. It was like a
Steampunk.
steampunk thing, right? And I think that's still his big ambitious project. But I just feel like he just like takes old retro games right now and kind of like raids the archive of Unity stuff, and then it's like, ta-da, functional VR game. And he should be applauded that his games usually like they're simple ideas and they work well. But I just get this like Pirate Flight VR vibe on everything he puts out. There's a deep cut for anybody.
Yeah, like I said, I don't really understand how the VR works, and even if it's just like that flat game in VR, I mean it's I can't remember the name this game is based upon that Lunar Lander. So I mean Lunar Lander was a pretty popular arcade
Yeah,
game back in the
yeah.
past. If it's just that it's playable in VR $5, I actually do enjoy those kinds of experiences. I just like I said, it's one of those games where you kind of pick it up on sale and maybe you have fun with it for an hour or two and you put it aside. I mean, like I said, I'm not hyped for the game by in any stretch.
At,
That being said, I should play it.
at this rate, what Reggie needs to do is just take all these things he's been making and then release some like like little uh fantasy retro game
The
VR
Strange
collection.
Games pack.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because right now we're feeling a little estranged. Next.
Next, so the next game we had no trailer for, unfortunately. It's from Engram, or no, the game is called Engram. It's formerly known as the Vanishing Act. It's from Maze Theory. It's supposed to be a launch game, and that's literally all we know. It's some kind of like exploration of your mind. They don't. The description's pretty vague. It sounds like it's a puzzler of some type, but I couldn't tell you more than that. These guys made the Doctor Who game that
Mm,
I thought was actually enjoyable. So I need to see something before I get hyped. So I don't know. Because
I don't care.
I'm gonna pull a Chris and I have no number.
Yeah, I
So
don't care. PSVR enthusiast, I would kill for a Worms game. I love Worms, actually. Love Worms. Don't know how that would work in VR, but I just want it.
terribly, we work terribly in VR.
Next
First
game.
person worms would be brutal. They tried that
Well,
too.
they did a third person Worms. It was
Was
like
it
an
third
arcade.
person?
It was
Right,
like a 3D Worms.
right.
And it wasn't horrible, but it lost some of the simplicity of
Yeah.
the 2D landscape. Anyways, I love Worms, but and they brought out a battle royale Worms that I didn't like. I know,
Next, I
I'm
just
on a
talked over
tangent.
you. Um,
You like yawned over me.
Exorcist Legion VR Sin, which is a terrible name when you say it out loud.
What was it?
The Exorcist Legion
Oh,
VR Sin.
is this a
Base.
sequel?
This is the sequel. This is the 4-player co-op sequel
Okay,
where
so
four of
there's
you must
yeah.
venture into this thing and like solve crimes and get scared and like everyone's doing the whole cosmophobia thing. That being said,
Otherwise known as Phasmophobia?
phasmophobia. Sorry, I forgot
Okay.
about that. Yeah. I've never played it, so leave me
No,
alone.
but you Cosmonius is what you called it.
Yeah. So
Cosmophobia. Anyway, yeah, I mean,
I mean, look, the first one was the first one. I'll get the first one credit, man. The first one had some quality visuals and quality scares. It was just a scare machine, though. There was nothing else to it. You just
yeah,
walked.
and chaptering it up, I thought was a poor
Yeah, and the puzzles
job.
were there was puzzles, but they were super basic. It was basically just like find the next thing. But it was pretty, and pretty goes a long way when it comes to horror. Sharing it with 4 people, I mean, it sounds
Yeah, but each
good,
chapter felt
better.
pretty disconnected, so I feeling like if this is like a cohesive thing, but you're right, it definitely looks like. By the way, we've moved on to.
Yeah, I see that. Whoopsie, I wasn't paying attention. I got distracted by my sexy face.
I would say that I don't know for the people who love Phasmo and the 4-player horror stuff, this could be cool. I mean, it's such an obvious fit, but at the same time, I feel like I don't know, like the whole and the Exorcist movie series. Part of the terrifying part of it is being like alone with a demon. Like with the four of you, I feel like it's probably going to be a lot more hilarious than it is scary. But we'll see. My hype level on that 7 because the license. Uh, I want to see how they do it. I'm very interested to see more.
I'm a 6. I need to see more. I mean, it's just that simple. I need to see what they're bringing to the table. Next is Firewall Ultra, which is the Firewall game we've always wanted,
Yeah, it's
basically.
Firewall remastered.
Yeah, basically. I mean, it's
They can call it Ultra
up-res,
if they want, but
which is still not a good name.
no, it really
Um,
isn't. It's like again, it's like a bag of like, it's like okay, it's like a Dolph Lundgren movie. It's like when they were coming out with like titles for like Dolph Lundgren and Steven Seagal's movies. It's like
yeah,
okay, what do we do? Okay, it's like yeah, okay, there we go. Here's the title, and then Renegade
yeah,
Ultra
yeah. Now we're playing Firewall Pro. But that being said, I mean, jokes aside,
Executioner.
jokes aside, I'm actually looking forward to playing the proper version of Firewall. I mean, it sounds like they basically listened to everyone's feedback and put that in the game, and now there's multiple modes, and it's sexy, and it's utilizing eye tracking, and blah 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 blah. And I mean, I really had fun with Firewall. I mean, as a guy who doesn't play multiplayer games, a lot, I played a lot of Firewall. I mean, I'm only like I get level like 26 or something like that. But for myself, that's extensive. So I'm actually pretty pumped to dive back into the world of Firewall and play those same levels again in high definition. I really hope they have more content than just a whole remastering. That's kind of where I don't want this. I want it to be a bit more than just, you know, play the same levels like you've never seen them before. I need more than
In
that.
Firewall, retaliation.
Yeah, right. But I can't deny I'm pumped to play Firewall, um, with proper PC, blah 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 blah, everything. Yeah, I'm stoked to play this. I'm like an 8 still. I mean, I'll make fun, but I'm still pretty stoked to play
I'm
this.
pretty stoked to play Firewall. The Exterminate. Um, um, Retrograde. Like
I was gonna say Retribution.
that's already been taken.
I know.
Um, First Blood. It's just saying, it's just it's endless, right? Pistol Whipped. Oh, I guess that's a full game. Anyway, Firewall, yeah. I mean, I'm really excited to see it as a two-handed game. I just think that like there's a tangibility that I'm really looking forward to build. Just like rip that mag out and slam it in, and just like there's just something visceral about that I think is gonna be really fun. Switching from two-handed to single-handed, actually throwing grenades, that's all gonna be fun. I feel like there's some levels in there that really are gonna benefit from hopefully being rebuilt. Like, I mean, even if they don't, they were pretty good looking levels. The assets were pretty solid that they used. If they amp up the resolution. I think I played a lot more Firewall than you. For a while there I was playing every night. Like I got pretty close to the level cap, I think.
I don't have that kind of time.
I know. But I was really hardcore Firewall there for a while, and there's some levels in there that could really benefit, because they not all levels were created equally as far as um how clear they look. Some of them were a lot blurrier, so they just it lends themselves very well to this. I hope they turn up the speed a little bit. I'd like to move a little bit quicker. Again, PSVR 1 days are over, bitches. Comfort settings are for pussies. Now we're in the real VR time. Um, it sounds like it does have more levels, but it feels like it's more like they're just gonna we're just gonna keep going, guys, now. We're just gonna keep dropping new maps, new guns, new characters. I mean, I love Rainbow Six. I love that series, and so having that in VR is like this is probably where you'll find me in my off hours at launch.
I'll be playing Crossfire Sierra Squad by myself.
No, you'll be playing with me. Then you'll be playing then you'll be playing Firewall.
Just yeah, I'll be the only guy waiting in the lobbies.
Caliber.
The only guy waiting. Yeah. All right, I'm moving on. I'm pretty stoked for that. Next game is Firmament. Which hold on, come on, trailer. There we go. Firmament. This is from the guys Cyan Worlds, the guys that gave us. Oh, I forgot the name of it now. Mist, obviously. But they gave us that wonderful puzzle game that looked like an absolute blurry mess
Wasn't
on
it
PS.
wasn't it I want to say it was called like observational or observer or something.
Oh, you're so close. You're
I
not
know.
wrong. Yeah, yeah, you bastard. Now you plant the seed. Obstruction.
I can see the cover.
I know. Ob. Anyways, this is from those guys. And they make quality games. That game was a crazy, crazy abduction. There was a crazy, crazy abduction.
Okay.
I'm right. I know I'm right.
Okay.
That game playing flat was awesome. That game flat was gorgeous and so huge, and the puzzles are insane. And this is for hardcore puzzlers. These guys don't pull their punches when it comes to puzzles. They try and stump you. Um, Unfortunately, the VR version of that game on PSVR especially was hot garbage. So without the tech holding them back, as long as they can deliver on the promise of their previous quality and give us a new puzzle game, this should be dynamite. I mean, as a puzzle guy, I'm stoked for this. I'll give it like an 8. I'm these guys make good puzzles, like puzzlers.
Okay.
You're good?
I'm not a puzzle guy. I mean, again, it's what if it you're right, it's quality. Like I mean abduction besides that, I think they know how to make a puzzle game. Hopefully they've learned how to make a better VR game.
Yeah.
And so it could be really good to fill that niche.
Next.
Next. And then let's say two more and then we'll call her.
We'll see where we go here. I'll make the call when we call her.
We
Oh,
got
what the heck? Oh, weird. This is gonna screw everything up. Galaxy carts. For some reason, the trailer is super low resolution. Galaxy Kart VR. It's basically a Mario Kart clone in VR. I want to say I played this a long time ago for PC. I remember it being decent, but I could be mixing up my kart racers. Um, Honestly, we need more of these things in VR. The fact we haven't had like too many of these things in VR is ridiculous. So bring it on. I'm like a 7 for this thing. It actually looks pretty decent.
Did you know what? Where's Dash Dash?
It's on my list of maybes. I haven't hitting those guys up. Those guys have been radio silent as far as I can tell.
Interesting
It was,
because that's like, I mean, that game,
dude,
that's what
no idea.
PSVR really needs. That game, that was a super quality game. It's another game that just kept adding like better levels. It was polished as shit, man. That game was, you know, this it looks like what this game wants to be. Um, yeah, Dash Dash World was sick, and you can get a Shughead Gaming honk horn thingy.
What's Shughead Gaming?
I don't know. So some defunct channel. Dun, dun,
Oh,
anyway,
this one looks.
they had mentioned bringing to play, like they had said over and over and over again, we're bringing it to PlayStation.
Oh yeah, and
And
then they
unless
just
they
shut
got
up.
bought out by Meta, which is very likely. Anyways, it looks cool. I mean, I'm all for kart games, and this looks okay. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie. Dash Dash raised the bar. This isn't there yet. This is looking a little more like Crash Team Racing to me, which is
yeah,
not
I
a
can see that.
bad thing. I'm just saying art
Yeah.
style wise. We'll
All
see.
right. No, like I said, I'm looking forward to it. But like,
These
yeah,
I think kart racing games are not something you can just phone in though. Like
yeah. Oh, for sure.
there is an art to making a good kart racing game, and we'll see.
All right, you ready for next?
I'm ready.
All right, we are up to number 30, and this is Ghostbusters: Rise of the Ghost Lord. Sorry, guys, the trailer size is all messed up because that stupid last trailer. Here we go. Ghostbusters: Rise of the Ghost Lord. Hype level 12, says Christopher Shug.
I was
Go,
reading.
Chris.
What game is this?
The Ghostbusters one.
Oh fuck me.
It's got a full name now. It's not Ghostbusters VR. It's Ghostbusters: Rise of the Ghost Lord.
You start this. Tell me what you think.
I mean, once again, it's 4 players fighting ghosts. I mean, it's Ghostbusters, so you get to like fight ghosts, guys. It's kind of weird. I mean, Chris will bitch about the license all he wants because it's kind of like taking the license in a new direction in regards to like not using the same tech from the movies and everything else. Am I hyped for this thing? I'm actually not hyped for this thing. That being said, it is from End Dreams, and End Dreams does make good stuff. So, while I'm not like super stoked yet because we've only seen one pre-rendered trailer. It's not even it's not even like actual footage. Um it's Ghostbusters in VR and it looks like a proper Ghostbusters game, not that absolute garbage we got early in PS4's life cycle with those 2 shitty little mini games. Uh,
Firehouse.
yeah, Firehouse and whatever called to something something. It doesn't matter. At least this looks like a proper Ghostbusters game. So in that regard, yeah, I don't know. I mean, as I talk, I'm kind of getting pumped up now. I'm like a 7. It's End Dreams. It's Ghostbusters. Hopefully they deliver the goods. Chris, whine about this game now.
Okay. In Man, I feel weird about this game. I'm all over the place on this because I feel like kind of it's like Servios and Aliens a little bit. Like In Dreams, I got a lot of love for In Dreams. I thought Fract was like polished as shit. It was like one of the most polished PSVR games we've had in the last few years. I loved Shooty Fruity, freaking loved Shooty Fruity, and I liked Phantom Covert Ops. See, I'm an In Dreams fan, boy. I can tell you the games. Um,
What was their first game? Oh, I'm thinking of the wrong one. Never mind.
Shooty
Forget it.
Fruity,
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I
probably.
was thinking of Archaeact.
And you know, I'm a massive Ghostbusters fan. That's why I wanted to get this. Like, see, this is the type of fan that I am. I got toys, baby. Like, yeah, yeah. Look at this. You guys, yeah, yeah, yes. Look at this.
For you audio listeners, I'm really sorry for this
Oh
current segment.
yeah. Sweet,
Oh
sweet
my god.
Ghostbusters.
I think Discord's muting half of that too. It just thinks it's noise.
Anyways, uh,
Hype. Are you
I
hyped?
I really just want to show off my toy. But
I know.
there's a Proton pack coming in January. I ordered it on the kick on the backing for Hasbro Pulse. Anyways, I digress. I played Force Unleashed, not Force Unleashed. What the hell? Spirits Unleashed. That was the Ghostbusters game that just came out in flat. And I know that there's some people in chat there. I know who played it just powered down, obviously, who played the shit out of that game. and the Ghostbusters fan in me was just like, meh, meh. It's not sticking to lore. And I found the whole co-op thing to be very rinse and repeat. I'm like, why are we doing this? Like ghost busting was just like bleh, trap, bleh, trap, pick up collectibles, and it was just and then being haunted by a ghost, which I don't know. There's people in chat that are gonna be like, oh man, like Shug just didn't get it. But as a huge Ghostbusters fan, I have expectations, and for some reason, I don't know, visually, Spirits Unleashed nailed it. It was like all the cool tech, and you were at the old firehouse, and I loved all that stuff, but gameplay wise, I feel like there wasn't enough to kind of grab me, and I don't know if In Dreams can better that. I guess is where I'm going with. I don't know if they can find a lot of people are going to want them to just do what Spirits Unleashed did in VR probably. I don't want that. I want them somehow, I don't know what the secret sauce is. I don't know how you make a ghost busting game as a four-player co-op thing feel satisfying and continually engaging. And I wouldn't want to be in Dreams because they are going to be compared instantly to Spirits Unleashed, a game that probably has a shit ton of money and talent behind it.
Sure. All right. I said my
You
piece.
got nothing, eh?
I said my piece before. Remember, I was ranting while you were up. I mean, it's End Dreams. I have faith in their quality. That being said, like, it's a 4-player co-op thing. I need to know more. I mean, we haven't seen game footage yet. It's just that stupid trailer. I need to see more. I'm like a 7 though. I mean, it's Ghostbusters. Hopefully, they do the license right, but I need to see actual gameplay here. I need to know what I'm actually getting with this thing.
Man, I'm such a big Ghostbusters fan. My hype rating for that, by the way, is like a 9 probably, but it's like but I'm expecting to be disappointed. I hate to say that.
No,
That's
I
a
get it. I get it.
horrible way to approach something, though. Horrible. So
All right.
negative.
I want to get through a couple more of these here just so we can get like close to the halfway point. So
Alright.
next up is Ghosts of Tabor. Do you know anything about this one?
Yes, but my
Are you
mind
just
just
saying that?
completely
It's
blanked. I
the online competitive survival shooter, so it's like a DayZ kind of thing. Like you're big open world, you're alone, and you gotta survive. You gotta kill people, loot them, eat food and drink water, and not get murdered, and murder other people, and survive and keep going. Um,
Oh, it's like
I
this it's, Escape from Tarkov basically in VR.
I think that sounds right.
Yeah, see, you don't
Like I
play
said,
flat games, this is your problem.
so I said DayZ, which I actually did play, but that's just
Yeah,
that's my
but I'm pretty
reference.
sure this is very much Tarkov, though. It's not a battle royale. It's a survival. It's more of a survive and not get all your shit stolen.
That's what I said. Multiplayer realistic survival virtual reality first person military shooter. That's a mouthful.
I agree. I agree. I'm just saying, yeah, it's definitely I've heard this is on PC, I think, or isn't it in early access?
Early access, yeah.
Yeah, it's totally Escape from Tarkov. And
Okay.
so yeah. I also recognize the guy in that trailer. I played with him before
He is
in
a
leagues.
fellow YouTuber.
Yeah. He's
Hmm.
awesome. His name's escaping me right now, but he's a wicked dude. Anyways, that could be I mean, the hype level on that could be amazing, but, making an actual Escape from Tarkov for VR, which is what it's gonna be, compared to on that scope, I don't know. That's a game where if it stays in long enough in the oven, it could be amazing when they finally get that out, but we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, I
It's
like those types of
ambitious
games.
as fuck, and so it's just like when a small studio is taking on something like that, I'm like, "Okay, but can you?"
I like these games in concept. I don't like them so much in execution. I always find them to be bogged down by something that just kind of ruins it for me. So hopefully it's good. Hopefully it kind of balances out that survival and murdering aspect without it just becoming too much of a slog one way or the other, or if it gets unfair or unbalanced. So I need to see more. I need to kind of know more. But if it does what it's supposed to do and delivers on everything it wants to, then it should be a pretty decent little game. Like a
I
six
mean,
for
it
me,
looks
like a six.
awesome. It looks like it could be really cool, but I feel like it's just, it's not there yet. I mean, we know it's an early access title, so it's you know what? I feel like maybe it's just because we've been burned so many times, especially as PSVR on one guys, of just like games that look too good to be true, and then they totally were. that I'm like, I feel like I just I need to see more. It feels like a little too much hype there for me right now.
Mhm. All right. Next.
Yeah, next.
Next we'll do Green Hell VR. Oops, or no, I lied. Golf Plus. Golf Plus. I got ahead of myself. Whoopsie. Golf Plus. Golfing in VR. It's already available in the Quest headset. It gets a lot of praise, a lot of love. I haven't played it myself. Obviously won't use Facebook avatars like it does on the Quest version. Um, Man, multiplayer golf in VR. We didn't get it on PSVR one. So I'm pretty pumped that we get this on PSVR two.
This is Golf Plus.
Golf Plus.
I have it on Quest. Um, I like it. I know it just got a visual upgrade supposedly. I don't know if that was across the board for Quest and PC. Um, on Quest it was fine. I do feel that real golf in on the Quest really pushes it. It just it's the Quest is just really struggles to deliver an authentic experience. Like part of the like experience of golf is being in beautiful environments,
Hmm.
and it feels like you're in a video game big
Yeah.
time, and not in a good way. The PC version was not enough of a jump up. It was more just like improved resolution. I even actually talked to the developer and he was like, "Yeah, I wish it looked better." But it was kind of like, "But the money's on the Quest." Like he straight up said that. And so the idea of this and this is a very this is a game that's got some legs on it. This team is continually updating it. This is the golf game on PC right or on VR right now. This is the game. They've got the
Hmm.
licenses. They're starting to add the like real licensed courses to it. I mean, this started out as a putting game, guys, pretty much. And then if I remember correctly, and then it became like then there was a driving range, right? Yeah, it is the same game I was thinking of. It was a putting game, then a driving game, and then it's just now become like now they've just amalgamated into one big golf experience. This is the golf game, and like they've got like Pebble Beach, I think now, and like you were able to go to the driving range and bring in Pro Putt exactly. This is the game, and you were able to bring in YouTube, kind of like in Forever Bowl, and just hit the driving range and listen to your own playlists on Spotify. And it was just, this is an all in one VR golf game. And if it can come to PSVR 2 and, give the developers reason to really overhaul the graphics, it'll be awesome. Yeah. I'm
Sweet.
pretty psyched about that. That is a game that we really need. That's a game that we needed on PSVR. So I'm
Yeah.
pretty psyched to see that come.
This will be our last game that we cover this episode, and then we'll have to carry this on next one. And that is Green Hell VR. Me and you both played this. Oh, you're the survival guy. I enjoyed it for what it was, but you talk.
Yeah, I mean,
Or
the
don't.
fact well, no, I don't know, I even know what to say, I'm just I played both versions. The Quest version looked good for a Quest game. I felt that, like, it looked a little janky, a little muddy. The PC version is significantly improved visually, but also destroys PCs, like, it's not optimized very well. Even with a 3080, I couldn't run it full out, not even close to full out because they even brought in, like, foveated rendering not foveated rendering, sorry, um, English is escaping me right now, but they brought in some pretty you could turn on some pretty high-end, lighting, real-time lighting, and, it really bogged down the PC. And so this is one of those games where the PSVR 2 version is definitely gonna be, like, the one that I'm really excited to see because I feel like it can bring that PC game to the audiences. And on a side note, the PC VR version is like you had said is a little different than the Quest version.
I mean, it
It
was at launch. I'm not sure if it's changed, but they changed a bunch of mechanics and stuff. It was
yeah, and
definitely a
I
bit
and I don't
weird and a little bit awkward
I would have
compared to what the Quest version was.
I would
But
have met yeah, it seemed like to be a little more hardcore actually.
yeah,
Um it's just this is going to be one of those games. Actually, it's one of the few games that we've talked about where it doesn't run full out on even on a decent PC, and I'm curious to see how this runs on the PSVR 2, probably with hopefully with eye tracking and some optimization for the single system. Um,
yeah, I'm moving with
and
the
you had
power of the
different
PSVR.
teams. Also, is it the PC version? Because there were two versions
I'm
with two
assuming it's the
different
PC
teams.
version. It
I would
has to be the
assume
PC version. It has to be the PC version. I
Hopefully.
mean, and like you said, it has to be the PC version, and I think with the power behind the PS5 and the tech in the headset, I think we will see this thing on like next to max settings, if not max, and I think it's going to look friggin' gorgeous.
Like for PSVR, they basically had one survival game. I guess No Man's Sky. But other than that, they had Song in the Smoke. And I see some people asking questions here. Big survival guy here. I played a lot of them on PC too. And I will say that like Green Hell is like Song in the Smoke is the kids park for Green Hell. Like if you go to the water
I'd go
park,
with that.
if you go to the water park, if you were going to like a big giant family water park with huge massive slides, Song in the Smoke is the ankle high splash pool that you go with like your little toddlers and you're like, "Yay, dad, you want to splash in the park?" And then there's like the 50-foot drop of doom up there. That's Green Hell. Green Hell, you're tracking protein and carbs, like all your macros. You can die of everything.
Everything,
Like
everything,
you're just like you could just sit in there and be like, "All right, okay, okay, I got rid of my I got rid of that rash that I had going on there. I got all my food, my water. I'm healthy. I got firewood. I got my hut." And it's like, "Fuck, got gonorrhea now." Like it's like,
you cannot
damn
get
it,
gonorrhea in that game, just for the record.
should not
Yeah,
have
so I'm
fucked
looking forward.
that monkey. I knew
I'm
it.
I'm looking forward to seeing the best version of that game being available on the PSVR 2. And yeah, it's a hardcore survival game, but it's also pretty damn fun once you kind of start figuring out how to actually survive. So I'm hyped for that. I'm actually pretty pumped to jump back in and play this proper. Like
Yeah.
an eight, like an
I
eight.
mean, I hope they have co-op ready at launch. That was kind of a promise that they said, and then they didn't deliver on that. And I'm not sure if that's the game just wasn't as successful, or they couldn't get it to work on the Quest, which I'm going to guess is probably the case. But then, like I said, even the PSVR version, or the PC version, like it's not optimized very well. At least it wasn't last time I played it. And I don't know. We'll see. It's just a I mean, that's a good game to end on because I think that like if they can get that game into a more polished state, that'd be a really sick game to start coming over to PSVR. And it's just a game. It's like a type of game we just didn't get a lot of on PSVR one, especially with like that depth too.
Yeah,
Like
no, I feel you, man.
it's a full on survival game.
And yeah, and on that note, guys, we're gonna cut it off here because we still have like 40 games to cover, so we still have to like cram a lot in here. And obviously, if anything gets announced between now this episode and next episode, we'll include those in the list and make this comprehensive. And that way, you can kind of gauge, and your hype level on a bunch of this stuff.
Hit the
Yeah,
like
this is
button. Hit the like button before you run away. Hit the like
absolutely,
button.
absolutely, guys. So yeah, next week, guys, part two. You know where to find us. You know what it's all about. I'm having a blast going through this list. It's pretty damn fun.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Ryan's bedtime, then we could have just kept going. But no, we'll call it here. Thanks for joining us, guys. Thanks to all our patrons, which we always forget to mention. At least I do for sure. And
Everyone who supports us, man, in every single way, shape, and form. You just watch us, like us, subscribe to us, leave a comment. We appreciate each and every one of you.
Ryan, stop the trailers. We're bleeding over, bud.
All right, there you go.
I don't even know what that is.
All right,
Anyways,
say goodbye, Chris.
goodbye, Chris.
Goodbye, Chris.
See you guys.
We're done. There you go. Sorry, I had the wrong. I killed the wrong stream. Doesn't matter.